They should be sentenced with death. They should be lined up against the wall and shot in the back of the head.
A sickness of the mind. You see, Ralph was a homosexual, a person who demands
10 kids that have themselves because they were Mormon and gay, and specifically said it in their notes.
What's up, everybody? My name is Amir. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're gonna be reacting to actual homophobic ads and then some, very religious folk hammering down on the gays. And before we even get started with this video, I have to put a disclaimer and say that I understand that not all Christians or just religious people in general feel the same way. The same way you, as either a straight person or even a straight religious person that watches my content, you understand that you watch me and you know that I'm not like all the gay people that I'm reacting to. It's the same way you should understand in this video, as I'm reacting to some of these religious content and homophobic pieces of work, that you're not like all of them. And even if you agree with some of these videos, that's your prerogative. This is a free country. You can believe what you want to believe. If the shoe fits, it fits. I'm not going to give you no hate or harm for that, but at the same time, I am going to react to it and give my raw opinion. Like, keep in mind that you're still watching a gay man. I have plenty of Christians in my life. My very, very best friends are Christians, and there's some things we agree to disagree on and keep it pushing because it's a free country. I'm allowed to have my beliefs. You're allowed to have your beliefs. Just acknowledge that you're watching a gay guy. It's not the time to convert. I've been through my fair share of conversion therapy. If you want my input on that, you can watch my coming out video. With that being said, let's just dive right on into this video.
There is a better way to do this, guys. We don't have to proceed on this one. I hear you. I understand there's some hard feelings with PennDOT.
Representative Bradford,
Yes.
just look, I'm a heterosexual. I have a wife. I love my wife. I don't like men, as you might, but don't stop touching me all the time. So like, keep your hands to yourself. Like, if you want to touch somebody, you have people on your side of the aisle that might like it. I don't.
Okay. Chairman. Chair. Okay. We're officially off the rails.
Okay. First off, all that man did was just pat his arm as in talking and communication. I don't know the full context. There could be a situation where he's doing that a lot. There's straight people that do it a lot. Just say, stop touching me. But for you to harp on, don't touch me, I'm not gay, that's sus. That is very sus behavior, because I'll tell you right now, and we'll probably get into this later on in this video, the most gay people I've ever come across are the closet ones, are the homophobic ones. The ones like, don't touch me, bro. Or the ones that are get super offended and weirded out with gay stuff. Those are always the gay people that's really suppressed and deep in the closet.
My intent was just to beg for your permission for about 30 seconds.
Then beg, don't touch.
I don't know where we go from here, really.
Look at homegirl is blushing, dude's red. Literally, a please don't touch me would have been just fine. There's very touchy people all over the world, but to harp on the fact that don't touch me, I have a wife and kids, I'm not gay.
no matter where you meet a stranger, be careful if they are too friendly. One never knows when the homosexual is about. Let's take the case of Jimmy Barnes. Jimmy played baseball all afternoon, and he didn't feel like walking home, so he decided to thumb a ride. He'd done it 100 times before.
I can't tell if this is real or satire, because I wasn't from this generation. I know hitchhiking was a thing, but I don't know if it was that casual.
And he didn't think anything was unusual when the driver struck up a friendly conversation. In fact, he seemed like a real nice guy. What Jimmy didn't know was that Ralph was sick, a sickness that was not visible like smallpox, but no less dangerous and contagious, a sickness of the mind. You see, Ralph was a homosexual, a person who demands an intimate relationship with members of their own sex. So no matter where you meet a stranger, be careful if they are too friendly, if they try to win your confidence too quickly, and if they become overly personal. One never knows when the homosexual is about. He may appear normal.
This video is gonna be a lot. First off, I'm so tired of this narrative that homosexuals are just predators. We talk on this channel, there are people who are predatory towards children, but across all sexualities. It's not just hyper-focused in the gay community. It is a lot going on in the straight community too. It's always the gays, the hot button issue. And I talk about gays because I am gay. And I want to be known that all of us act the same, think the same, and that there's a bigger community of us who are outside the norms of what mainstream media says the gay community is. But I also just hate the narratives that gay people are somehow just so different from the straights, when the straights be doing the same thing, if not more. They're just more low-key about it. That's really what it is. They're just more low-key. People talk all the time about gay people being all promiscuous and sexual, which they are. The adults are. They're very, like, a lot of open relationships, very promiscuous, sexual, lots of partners. But the straights, the 40s and 50s, the swinger communities, there's whole swinger boats, like cruise ships. It's straight people. Everybody's just it's a whole festival, okay, on a boat. But they're more low-key about it. So, like, straights and gays are doing the same things all over the place, but this narrative that, like, gay people are sick, no.
The pastors at Steadfast Baptist Church, now based in Watauga, have a history of anti-gay rhetoric, and that continued on Sunday when Pastor Dylan Oz gave a statement calling for the execution of gay people. This is audio from part of that sermon.
They should be convicted in a lawful trial. They should be sentenced with death. They should be lined up against the wall and back of the head. That's what God teaches.
Protesters showed up outside the church, including a...
He's gay. I'm sorry. I know there's some people who hate the whole narrative, like, oh my gosh, you're hateful, like, you're just calling them gay. It just happens so much. The most bigoted and hateful people are the ones that are trying to suppress or like are talking to their inner selves to like push it down. Should be sentenced to death. Why are you this mad? I just saw me. I'm gonna post it. My friend just sent me a meme and it's like, can you imagine opposing gay marriage when it's literally just this? It's just two dudes living together. Like, calm down. Are there some deranged gay people out there? Yes, we talk about a lot on this channel. But are there some deranged straight people? Yes, they're out there. Do I react to them that much? Not really. Why? Because I'm not straight. Listen, I'm trying to do damage control. The PR crisis is in the gay community. That's what I'm focusing on. But to say that we shall be sentenced to death, no. Like, these videos that we're watching is actual homophobia, but what's not homophobia is this. For those unaware, Tennessee recently banned gender-affirming care for minors, which I think is totally fine because, again, they're minors. But the left feels so strongly about this that the Supreme Court is actually taking it up and will hear a challenge to a Tennessee ban on gender-affirming care for trans youth. This is what the left is saying. Now, the right, what are they saying? Supreme Court to weigh in on restrictions on sex changes for minors, because that's what it is. It's the wording for me that is very unfortunate because trans youth plays at the heartstrings of the left, whereas, you know, sex changes for minors, that's what it is. It's a sex change transitioning male to female, female to male. But they know a sex change for a minor just sounds so out of pocket because that's what it is. It's wild, y'all. And if you like the way that all this is shown and laid out, you can use, I've been using Ground News for well over years now at this point. They've been a long time sponsor of this channel, so you can use the QR code on the screen or the link below to follow along in this article. But for every story that you read with Ground News, you can see the coverage details, bias distribution, you can see factuality, ownership, and much, much more. Additionally, for my international folk, we got you. You can go right up here where it says US edition, international, UK, Canada, Europe, and you can swap the location to where you're at. This way you can always read the news that matters to you. Personally, I'm on the Vantage plan, which using my code gets you 40% off that plan, but it gives you access to so much within Ground News, including my favorite feature called Blind Spot, which basically shows you everything that the left isn't talking about, but the right is, and then everything that the right isn't talking about, but the left is. That way you can stay grounded and really see the full scope of the political spectrum and see what is actually going on in our news. Overall, I just love Ground News because it just shows you everything that is going on from an unbiased and grounded center point of view, which it just equips you with all the tools you need for the media, because the media is a hot mess, y'all. The sensationalism, the clickbait, the ads, all of it. There's no ads on Blind Spot. You can go into anything and see immediately what is going on, who's saying what. So I that's why I love it so much. I use Ground News nearly every single day, and if you want to as well, you can see on the QR code here on the screen or the link below, or visit ground.news/Amir to get 40% off the Vantage subscription.
Hey honey, how are you?
Fine, I guess.
What's going on?
Well, Obama is trying to force gay
This acting,
marriage on this country. That's not the change I voted for. Marriage is between a man and a woman.
That's not the change I voted for either.
What can we do?
We can vote for someone with values.
Campaign for American Values PAC is responsible for the content of this.
listen, I'm all for the government just being out of marriage totally. I'm all for you believing that, you know, biblically marriage is between a man and a woman. I get it. But what I'm not for is you restricting my rights to the benefits that you get in this country for being married. You know, really, I just want the same rights. I want to be seen as an equal in this country to a straight couple and a straight married couple. It's just so crazy to me too, because there's some churches that love gay people and there's some churches that don't like gay people. It's like there's so much infighting even within the church. It's like, just let citizens have the same rights and we'll go about our day. That's it. Like, let us have the same rights and we'll be fine. I don't understand. I never really did the whole issue behind allowing gay people to get married. It's not bothering you. It's really not.
Yeah.
Marriage is best practiced when it's a man and a woman coming together in marriage. And it's not just because of our faith that informs us of that decision, but it's also, as we feel, in the best interest of the state, as well as the best interest of the family.
You have every right to feel that way, but what blows my mind is that they don't bring up the sheer amount of straight couples who are divorced. The sheer amount of straight couples who hate their marriage. The sheer amount of straight couples who are just instilling so many traumas into their children because of their broken home. Oh, high and mighty, oh, we're a straight couple, male, female, we have the perfect little family, when it's everything but. I have so many friends whose straight parents got divorced, whose straight parents are just very toxic. But again, you want to just like focus on gays and like same-sex marriage, and it's just like, there's so many people who grow up with just one mom, just one dad, or their grandparents, or adopted. Like, the end-all be-all to me that like straight is it, straight's in, male, female, perfect household. No household is perfect. It's just not.
You know, if I'm trying to take rights away from a person, automatically someone is billed as hateful or fearful. And again, that's a very subjective type of label to throw on someone. But I think, you know, from the relationships we have, and then even from the way that we live our lives, I think it shows that it's not based on fear or hate, but it's based upon a real desire to have the best type of families we can, the best type of relationships we can for society as a whole. They might be in a caring home, they might be in a loving home, but does the state sanctioning that relationship necessarily influence how that child is brought up?
Studies have been done that children with both a mother and a father figure are more emotionally healthy, more emotionally stable.
Are you aware of the amount of emotional battles that some children go through from being adopted by a white family as a black child? I have several in my life who are black, who are adopted by a white family, who went through so many crises of identity crisis and hair crisis because the parents didn't know how to take care of the child's hair. So many different things. You're trying so hard to be Captain Save-A-Ho, and that like, oh, we're it, like we're the prime model for our kids, when the whole time your kid's gonna still be dealing with issues.
Honestly, it's too early to tell, you know, probably the long-term effect of several generations of the homosexual parents on the child.
If the same-sex couple moved in next door with kids, I mean, would you associate with them? Would you let your kids play with them?
Oh yeah,
Sure.
yeah. We'd even have them over for dinner. Sure. In fact, in our church, we've had several former same-sex couples, and even former homosexuals that are part of our community.
We're gonna get into this former later, but they're just bi. There's no former sexuality to me. Like, there's no, I used to be gay. It's literally just, you just don't do that anymore. You're with the women, or you're just bi. Like, your sexuality is already on a spectrum as it is. This video, I feel myself getting irritated. I really do. And I try to stay middle ground and grounded when I film, but like, I'm getting frustrated.
And even those that still struggle with homosexuality. We don't think that anyone should be discriminated against individually just because of their sexual orientation. Everyone has the right to have a job. Everyone has the right to earn a living. Everyone has the right to live peacefully with everyone else without fear of
How are you saying everybody has the right to these things, but you're trying to take a right for them to take away the right for them to get married? I guess I'm irritated because it's just like, it's so simple to just like let people live their lives. Grown adults, grown families, just let them do them. If they're grown, who cares? Who cares? Literally, if they're grown, Let them go about their business. Like I say all over this channel, the main reason I harp against like the really decrepit gays is because they advocate for children to transition, or they always like in front of the kids with the drag shows or transition, all that kind of stuff. I'm against, but I am for adults just living their life and doing what they want to do. But when it involves under 18, that's when Amir Odom steps in and like, can we not? Can we not? When it comes to children, common sense, okay? Words, male and female, those are the things I'm trying to defend and talk about. But this idea that gays shouldn't be able to get married or just have basic rights is beyond me. It's dated, it's old, it's played out.
Look, Mom. I drew our family in school today.
Oh, wow.
I didn't have time to finish Caleb's face.
That's petty.
Carrie drew two mommies. She told me they're married to each other. My teacher says that all that matters is that people love each other and that they're happy.
Well, people have their own ideas about what is right and wrong. But what matters is how Jehovah feels. He wants us to be happy, and he knows how we can be happiest. That's why he invented marriage the way he did.
You mean one man and one woman?
Exactly. Look at Genesis 1:27. Jehovah created Adam and Eve, male and female. Then in Genesis 2:24, he said that a man will stick to his wife. Later, Jesus said the same thing. Jehovah's standards haven't changed.
There are some great things in the Bible. I love Proverbs, love Psalms. Great things in the books. But for me to devote my entire life to this one religion, this one book, is just beyond me personally. I just can't do it. Two, I cannot comprehend why it's this big of an issue for some people, or even religion in general. Like I never really can understand or really get behind that two men being together, two women being together is just the end all be all, when in reality it's like, y'all, the straights aren't perfect either. There's some gay families I know who are way more functional, way more supporting, and way more happy than straight people that I know. You got a lot of straight families where the dad is a deadbeat and the mom is just addicted to Ambien. Let's talk about it. Dad's alcoholic, mom's on drugs. Dad's never present, always working. Like, these are things that straight people are having to go with, but all of a sudden it's a problem when two dudes to get together, or two women.
It's kind of like going on an airplane. What would happen if someone wanted to bring something on the plane that wasn't allowed?
They couldn't go on their trip.
Right. It's the same with Jehovah. He wants us to be his friend and live in paradise forever. But we have to follow his standards to get there. At Matthew 7:13 and 14, it talks about the road leading to paradise. To get there, Jehovah says we have to leave some things behind. That means anything Jehovah doesn't approve of.
This is literally, hey, little kid, if you are scared of death, you're scared of the idea of dying, and, if you want to, go hang out with me and the rest of the family and live forever in this prosperous land, then you can never, you have to leave all that behind. You have to suppress yourself. You have to neglect who you are. If only y'all knew how many Christians, gay Christians and gay Mormons watch this channel or DM that are going through all these issues. The amount of people that I know, oh, this is gonna be an emotional video. I already know. The amount of people who have thoughts of deleting because of things like this.
But I want everyone to get to paradise.
So does Jehovah. And you know what? People can change. That's why we share his message. So, what can you say to Carrie?
Well...
What? This video, literally, I didn't know it was gonna be this traumatic. Like, it's just bringing back all the stuff of, like, growing up in the church or like going through conversion therapy and having all these meetings with the pastor, the youth pastor. It's just like, for what? Literally for what? You're causing way more harm than to just let people live their lives.
I could tell her about the paradise. I could tell her about the animals and the resurrection.
That's awesome. Let's practice.
Yes, little girl, let's practice so that you can go to school and tell this little girl that she is just so wrong for having 2 moms. And that her 2 moms aren't going to be able to go to the Holy Land. As a 7, 8-year child, this video, I need a drink. I can't. I literally can't. It's just so sad that so many people spend their life, and I'm not saying all Christians, I'm not saying all Jehovah's Witnesses, I'm not saying any of that, but that there are so many of them out there that are just hateful for no reason. Like, this is like the true, to me, homophobia. That's just like, you know, again, you have every right to like believe what you want to believe, but that's like real spreading hate. That's like real just like mean advice, like rooting and tooting for your little girl to go tell the other little girl who has gay parents, like, hey, if you want to make it to heaven, you got to do this and that. Just have your beliefs and go about your day. But like the whole spreading it part, can we not? Here's my shot. I went and got some tequila. I cannot. In my Six Flags shot glass, because I love Six Flags and theme parks. Cheers to just being happy with who you are, accepting yourself for who you are. Cheers to loving yourself. Cheers to, you know, for once on this channel, the queers. Can't deal.
Where's your mommy?
Is marriage about what adults demand or what children need?
1, could have very easily gone to your kid and said, where's your daddy? 2, there are so many people who do not have a mom, who their moms have passed away, who their mom abandoned the family, who their mom's in jail, who their mom is psychologically unavailable to be a parent, whose mom is just emotionally unavailable. There's so many cases of the mom not being around. 2, there were 2 dads in that picture. Clearly, that kid more than likely was adopted, okay? You want these kids to just sit in these adoption homes, or do you want this kid to go to this rich gay family? Because don't forget, straight people just having kids, it doesn't matter, they're able to just have a kid, you know? But for a gay couple to adopt, income got to be approved, the house has to be approved, bedroom, living life quality, all these things have to be, all these check boxes have to be checked. That kid's gonna live a good life, okay? Marriage, 1 man, 1 woman. Why is it this big of a deal? Why? The kid has loving parents, and that's, ooh, that little smudge. Where's your mommy? What if the mama's dead? Tired of this attitude that like 1 man, 1 woman is just the end all be all, and that's a fantastic way to be, because it's not always the case. You can have a mom and a dad without having a mother and a father. Easily.
Hey, what is wrong with you? That is not okay.
No, is lesbianism okay?
It is. Yeah.
No, it isn't.
Why isn't it?
Because you touch children, you rape children.
I do not touch children.
Mood. Homegirl in the back. Mood. You touch lesbianism isn't okay because you touch children. This idea that all gays are somehow like predators, and it's what blows my mind is how do you forget about the straight predators? How do you forget about the whole narrative of like the creepy uncle with the little girl and the little niece? Like, how do we just forget about these things? Why are we just like casting this predator ideal to lesbians and gays. And girl, you need some deodorant on your tatas. They're leaking. Not leaking, but they sweaty.
Because you're all evil.
Oh, you're evil. God doesn't want you to talk that way to people. Do you go to church? Oh, I'll record you all day. Oh, sweetheart.
You know who I work for? Do you know who I am?
No, nobody knows who you are. Okay, great.
Like, this is real homophobia. Like, this to me is homophobic AF. Not the stuff that I talk about on this channel, not the laws. This.
You should be ashamed of yourself talking to people this way.
No, sweetheart.
Yes, sweetheart.
I'm actually very proud. Are you the manager? Yes, I am. Oh, okay. I'm gonna need your name. I'm gonna need your name.
Extremely out of pocket. That Karen, first, this outfit gotta go. Hair needs to be done. And you need to stop being a bigot. That's truly being a bigot. Like, just for being rude and entitled for no reason at all. This video, I literally can't.
I have known 10 kids, myself personally, hugged them, looked them in the eye, not incredibly close, but I was able to connect with them. 10 kids that have themselves because they were Mormon and gay, and specifically said it in their notes. The church is absolutely responsible for it. So here's why. We know that the actual rule, any active LDS person now would say, you can be gay. It's okay to be gay. You just can't live that lifestyle. So you have to be celibate for your entire life. You can't be in a homosexual relationship. That's the policy.
I know so many people like this that have either talked about deleting themselves or that have talked about being celibate for life, that have talked about the emotional damage and struggles that they have with themselves merely because of this one religion. And some of the people in the religion, not all, but some, just shaming them and shunning them for their entire lives. Lives lost. For what? Because of this idea that, you know, it's all facts, don't care about your feelings until it comes to faith, which, you know, obviously faith and fact are different. But there's a lot of people who treat their faith so, like, they believe in their faith so much that it is fact to them, that they instill self-hatred into others. That, you know, sorry, you can't be a part of this club. You can't, and I'm not saying, again, it's not for all Christianity. Like, there's a lot of gay accepting churches and non-gay accepting churches, whatever it may be. I'm not religious at all. It has nothing to do with homosexual stuff either. I just believe in other stuff. Well, I'll get into that into another video. But there's so many people who end up harming themselves or not living a fulfilling and happy life merely because of a religion. And they're so scared of this idea of hell that they just have to get into heaven. And they're living this life like, listen, I don't know for sure, but I'd rather bet on heaven being true. So I'm going to live this life. I'm going to suppress myself. I'm going to be celibate, whatever it may be, to make sure that I get in. And the amount of people that I know, the amount of messages that I get from people like that, it's sad. It's genuinely sad. The conversations that I had to endure in my own conversion therapy, sad. The amount of sermons I sat through with the pastor looking dead in my eyes as if, and it just felt like the whole church and congregation was looking at me like, yeah, he is the one he's talking about. Sad. The amount of people who have, you know, done certain marks to themselves because of how they're portrayed. Sad. For what? For simply loving someone? for simply being happy. Because remember, not all straight people are happy. Not all straight Christian families are happy and picture perfect. I just finished the documentary on Ashley Madison. I had no idea about any of that. And that famous Christian blogger that was actually on it.
Sometimes kids know they're gay when they're 6 years old, 12 years old.
I knew, looking back, it's probably clear that I knew when I was in kindergarten, but I definitely knew in 5th grade because, and we're still, I'm gonna hit him, we should hang out tonight. We're still great friends. He walked in the classroom, I was hooked. We became best friends, and I'll never forget like Googling like boys liking boys. So I was like, is this what my friends were talking about when they were talking about how they had a crush on a girl? They'd always talk about it, but I never really had that feeling. I had girlfriends, but I never really like, it's just like a being with a friend. I didn't know what feeling they were talking about, but that gut-wrenching butterflies, liking someone, having a crush on someone, that my first time having that feeling was with him. And I'll never forget Googling it, and I was like, oh, like, because I was always being told and raised that gay is bad, but I didn't, you know, when you're a kid, you don't really put definitions and stuff together. I didn't realize that being gay was like boys liking boys. You know, I was young, I didn't put the two together. And when I did, that's when I like suppressed everything, just went in the closet. I was like, oh, this is bad, I'm gonna die. So I was also raised and told that every man is born with AIDS, and it's a little bubble in their butt, and then when they have anal sex, it pops, and then they get AIDS and die. And that's what I was told. Yeah, wild. But I definitely knew I was gay in 5th grade and suppressed it until I was outed by my best friend. There's a whole story on it.
And so for these kids growing up, knowing they are gay, it's who they are. It's not a choice. It's who they are. And thinking, okay, I'm already, just because I'm gay, I'm already a disappointment. Easy for my family, my LDS family. I'm already something that's shameful. I'm already something that makes other people feel uncomfortable. You know, when they're around me, they feel uncomfortable. This is what kids have told me specifically. And then on top of all that, they don't get to have a relationship ever. They just have to go through their entire life alone, when almost everything in our entire society, every movie, every book, anything that has anything to do with romance shows how beautiful a relationship is.
How about every sacrament meeting?
Thank you. Exactly.
Every youth conference, every EFY, right?
Everything tells them that that is the end all be all.
That
They don't get to have it.
To have an eternal family.
To have love, yes.
Yeah.
And they don't get to have it. So,
Insane.
I mean, the last one was this beautiful girl named Katie in Pennsylvania. And it was last year I met her at her high school, and it was only 3 or 4 months ago from right now. This girl wanted to die so badly and left a note that said, I will never be accepted by my family. I will never be accepted by my community because I'm Mormon and gay. She wrote it in her note. Like, she wanted to die that badly because that was a better alternative than to live this life. It's unacceptable.
This is real. This is real life. This is like some real shit. I'll never understand it. I really won't. If y'all want, let me know in the comments to make a full video about my religious views and how I pair religion, being gay, and my struggle specifically with that. Totally can share some stories with approval, of course, of other people who are gay and, you know, religious. I can make a video on that. Definitely an emotional one, but I can do it. I just cannot wrap my head around. And I was just at Pride, and that video is coming soon, so be sure to subscribe if you want to, like, obviously watch that video, and walk past the people, you know, the Christian hecklers outside of Pride, and you're gonna be damned to hell, like Westboro Baptist Church type. And I'm just sitting here like, why can't you just live your life? And I guess you're being told to spread the gospel, but it's like, you're literally, I went with Christian people. My videographer and my bodyguard that went with me are both devout Christians and they're straight men, and they're like, these guys are stupid. That's not the way to go about it. It's really not. That's it for this video, y'all. That was a roller coaster. I didn't expect it to get this emotional, but it definitely did. That is me reacting to some of the most homophobic ads and like some TikToks that was put together. Really, all I have to say is if you are a religious person, if you are someone who agreed with some of the stuff in these videos, you have every right to do so. Where I do disagree with you on is you preaching down on other people, telling them that the life you're living is wrong. What I do disagree on, and you have every right to, but I do disagree with it, to tell your children that they're gonna go to hell for being gay, or that it is wrong to be gay, or that, yeah, you shouldn't do that, or this, that, and the other. That's what I do disagree with. And of course I disagree with the statements, you know, the actual homophobic stuff that all gay people are pedophiles or all gay people have been assaulted. Straight people deal with the two. Gay people deserve to get married. Gay people deserve to be having adopting children. And a lot of the reason why the things I talk about on this channel, again, like I said before, is because I want to preserve truth. Truth that gay people exist. Truth that not all gay people believe that men can be women and women can be men. That's not true. You know, that's what I like to focus on this channel, is to just bringing back common sense and reality. And there's a lot of people who don't think being gay is common sense and reality, but I'd urge you to look out into our world. I'd urge you to look into all the people who suppress it and delete themselves. There's a lot of that out there. And if you are someone that is dealing with this, dealing with your religion hating you, dealing with family, whatever it may be, you're in the closet, whatever. So cliche, it does get better. You can always DM me on Instagram. You can always shoot me a DM on Patreon, comment below. Whatever it may be, you're not alone, because there's a lot of people out there like that, and there's a lot of people who have fought their way through it, and you can too. So with that being said, the next video will be a good one. It'll be me at Pride, Nashville Pride Parade and Festival. Went to both. Super long video. Got lots of good interviews, so be sure to keep a lookout for that. Thank you all for my amazing Patreon members. You guys mean the world to me. And yeah, for subscribing. The channel's growing at a crazy rate. I'm so thankful for the love and support. Very somber ending to this video, but love you guys a ton, and I will see you in the next video. Deuces.